What am I doing? This is a bad decision. The cameraman never dies, the cameraman never dies. Welcome back to another adventure. I'm back on the west coast of Scotland and I've just left a small settlement called Kinlochleven back in that direction. Today I'm hiking to what is regarded as the most haunted camp spot in all of Scotland. There have been many reports of paranormal activity and one particular case in which two people experienced some pretty terrifying events. So I'm going to spend the night and see what happens. Come along for the adventure. I'm heading straight into a very steep section and I'm just heading up through these woods here. You can probably see one of the hills just over there. Very steep, but I'm sure the views will be pretty amazing once we get up higher. Oof. This is insane how steep this is. Man, I'm roasting already. Can't really see too much just because this forest is quite dense, but I'm sure once we get above the tree line, the views will be pretty amazing. Oh, this is steep though. Oh yes, I've made it up through the steep bit. Actually some blue sky up ahead. Wait till you see this view behind me though. Wow, that is Lochleven down there, and that is the wee village Kinlochleven. Got the Papa Glencoe on the left there. Oh man, that is some view. And then the Mamore Mountains over in this direction. Oh, I've nearly done the steep part as well. Then I can do some flat walking. So excited. I've actually seen that view down to Lochleven when I did some of the mountains in the Mamores. But you never get tired of it. Some view. And it looks like the sun's actually coming out now as well, which is ideal. So far the weather is perfectly fit in with what I'm doing today. What is that? Is that a pathetic fallacy? When the weather matches the mood. I think that's what it is, but that's perfectly what it's been like so far. It's been pretty eerie. Had quite a lot of rain, so it's nice to see the sun out. Hopefully it stays out for the remainder of the hike. Well, I have been up and over the highest point of the trip at just over 400 metres above sea level, and I think I'm actually staying around this height all the way to the camp spot, maybe just below 400 metres. And I've got about 6 or 7 miles to get there, so maybe 2 hours of hiking. But I'm so glad I don't have too much uphill left to do. It means that the ups and downs are going to be pretty minimal, which is ideal, especially after that really steep start. I've joined on to a proper 4x4 Land Rover track now as well, which is going to make hiking a lot easier for me. This right here is Loch Eildimore, which looks pretty nice, and just up to the left is the mountain Sgurr Eildimore. Not sure which came first, but I'm pretty much following the shore of the loch. Don't know if you can make out the path just down there, but that confirms that it will be pretty flat, which is ideal. I've walked past some really nice waterfalls, and the sun is fighting through the gaps in the clouds to make some pretty amazing views on the mountains. But I was just thinking to myself there, I've lost phone signal and I'm hiking alone in some pretty dodgy weather to a really remote spot, a miles from anything else, and a spot that I know is one of the most haunted spots in all of Scotland. Any sane person would be saying to me, what on earth are you doing? And to be honest, I was just thinking that to myself. But I'm here now, I'm in too deep. I may as well enjoy it. If anything's going to make it worth it, it's going to be those views. And just look at that. Wow. You can see the sun is trying, it really is trying. Just quite cloudy. But making good progress along the loch. Hopefully be by it pretty soon. I wish I was staying in that. Don't know if that's a wee bothy, but I'm pretty sure you can't stay in it. Must be privately owned. Looks really nice though, doesn't it? With some pretty amazing views. But not for me, unfortunately. Welcome to Louisbelt Lodge, the most haunted camp spot in Scotland. Pretty eerie off the bat, not gonna lie. I think I'm gonna go and have a look around before I pitch my tent or anything. Right, let's see what this place is all about. Can't lie, I'm a little bit creeped out. Wish me luck, guys. So this is the Louisbelt Lodge ruin right here. Oh, creepy. Creepy. Nah, it's just a ruin. But it's definitely going to be scary when it gets dark. As you can see, there's not much left of it. There's a tiny bit of roof up there with a bit of tiling on it, but that's pretty much it. You can see where the fireplace was just there. Yeah, it's quite creepy to be fair, but just looks like a ruin, to be honest. I think the weather is making this place a lot more creepy as well. Don't know if you can hear that, but it's really windy and it's blowing the trees above this ruin, which just adds to the whole eeriness of the place. But I'm gonna look for a spot to pitch my tent because we've only got, I think, an hour until it gets dark. So yeah, I need to find a good spot pretty quick. This spot here looks absolutely perfect. It is nice and flat, and there are some really nice views of the Louisbelt Lodge. There actually is a bothy in use just across the river there. I'd imagine it'd be quite hard to cross that river, especially in Spate. But it's a really nice bothy. Just super remote around here. There's nothing really around apart from mountains. Look at those mountains, they look pretty amazing. But the sun is going to drop behind those hills pretty quickly, so I'm going to get my tent up before it gets dark. Well, the tent is set up and is looking good. I've been inside just to sort out all my kit, and my first impressions of this place, I mean, I don't really know what to think, to be honest. It doesn't feel that creepy right now, even though the weather is quite gloomy. You know, I don't know, it doesn't feel that creepy. Maybe it's just because I'm surrounded by mountains and this is what I'm used to seeing. But I think I'm just going to chill out. We've got about half an hour until it gets dark. So I'll just chill out and then see what happens. Maybe my opinion will change once it gets dark. I've just been chilling out for the past hour or so. Sunset was about 45 minutes ago, and it's just been raining ever since, to be honest, which I'm actually kind of glad for. It's allowed me to just relax, listen to the sound of rain on the Ten, and it's distracted me from where I am. But I wanted to tell you the story of why this is considered the most haunted camp spot in Scotland, and it dates back to Christmas 1973, when Louisbelt Lodge was used as a bothy for hikers. And two young hikers, I think they were around 18 to 20, decided to stay in the bothy so they could get a fire going, light some candles, and shelter from a winter storm. And in the middle of the night, they were awoken to footsteps in the room next to them and the sound of a rock being tossed across the floor from upstairs. They decided to ignore it and try get some rest for a big day again in the morning. And then again at 4 in the morning, the sound of the ice axes being tossed across the floor erupted in the living room, and they reported just crazy noises of people talking coming from the living room, people shouting. So they decided, right, we're not having this anymore. So they got up, they lit some candles, at which point one of the candles they lit was tossed across the room. So they decided, we've had enough of this. They packed up all their stuff, they left the bothy, never to return. So yeah, and that was the end of the story. Oh, on that terrifying note, I'm going to try to get some rest, and I'll update you if anything happens. If not, I'll see you guys again in the morning. Yeah, I do not have a clue what I'm doing, to be honest. I thought I would come out to see what it's like in the dark. And yeah, it's pretty terrifying. Don't know how much of this you can see. What am I doing? This is a bad decision. The cameraman never dies, the cameraman never dies. Right, let's get back in this tent, this is terrifying. Well, good morning everyone. I have packed everything up and I'm ready to go. As always, I've left no trace. You always want to make sure you leave the camp spot exactly how you found it. Louisbelt Lodge is looking pretty creepy this morning with this gloomy weather. But I may as well have one last look inside. It's got a pretty creepy feel to it, to be fair. As all ruins do, to be fair, but this one in particular, just because of the stories. And for context, I was camping just through that window on that wee grassy spot there. And the views are pretty amazing here. I mean, look down that glen, that is pretty stunning. And I think like these are like the only trees in the area, which is pretty creepy as well. They were probably planted when this house was built. But yeah, I think I'm chancing my luck sticking around here. Let's head. Yeah, I thought this would be the case, to be honest. Rained quite a lot last night, so this path is going to be really flooded. And I've just got one tiny bit of uphill round the corner, and then the rest is flat and then downhill, which is unreal. But goodbye to Louisbelt Lodge. Actually been a pretty decent camp spot. I'm just heading back the exact same way. Because this is quite remote, there's a real lack of paths around here. You can probably see the lodge just behind me there. And it's quite early, I think it's about, what is it? It's 9 o'clock right now. And the reason I'm up so early is it looks like it's going to rain. It's pretty gloomy and horrible. And I don't have phone signal, but the weather forecast I got yesterday said it was going to rain pretty much all day today. So I might as well just make my way back. I've enjoyed my stay at Louisbelt Lodge. I didn't experience anything paranormal or ghostly, But that's not me denying other people's stories, because I wasn't there, so I don't know what they experienced. Maybe it is true, but definitely for me, I didn't experience anything other than some pretty horrible and gloomy weather. So it's a lovely spot, it really is. But I'm just going to make my way back along the track, head past those two lochs, and then descend down to Kinlochleven with those amazing views. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Really helps push the channel out. And I'll see you guys on another adventure.